Ubisoft has been getting absolutely destroyed for Assassin's Creed Shadows, and every single time they try to make statements on how they hired cultural consultants and researchers, it completely backfires for them. And now Thomas Lockley, the Yasuke historian that they apparently referenced quite a bit and have previously praised, has deleted his Facebook page after weeks of intense backlash. I have a few things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, of course, when it comes to Assassin's Creed Shadows, Ubisoft initially was going down the route of historical accuracy, saying they picked this historical figure to put in this game because of what he represented in the amazing story that pertained to his life. And then they kind of shifted the narrative, not to so much promoting that as they were really just silent on what was going on all of the criticisms they were facing. And over the past couple of weeks, they have had to apologize for several things, like the flag situation. They actually were of course, accused of using a reenactment group's banner without permission in the game, and they had to apologize. And most recently, they were accused of using Zoro's sword from One Piece and props from Amazon for the official promotional material. But now we're finding out Thomas Lockley, one of the Yasuke historians, has deleted his Facebook page. Now, of course, he is an individual who has profited off of Yasuke's life story, he claims. And he is a, quote, historian that has been widely cited by papers, books, and official sources for the proof that Yasuke was a samurai that Hollywood and companies like Ubisoft are using to create products like Shadows. But we had most recently found out that he was a fraud. There were plenty of Japanese individuals citing him as a fraud, and have been finding out that he had actually been editing Wikipedia for years under an alias to promote his books and papers and to pass off his basically fan fiction as historically accurate. But because he has been facing so much criticism since Shadows was announced, he actually decided to basically go MIA. He deleted his Facebook page and is now trying to hide from all of the backlash. Now, of course, with Ubisoft specifically, they initially talked about how they hired so many different researchers and cultural consultants to make sure that this game was as accurate as possible. But now we really know that they basically just had their writers go to Wikipedia. And of course, Wikipedia is not a good source. Pages can be edited by basically anyone, same with plenty of other sites like IMDb. For example, all of the information can be edited with a few clicks of buttons, and that is why you need to do extensive research outside of just searching Wikipedia pages. But it really seems now that that's all that their writers did, that they initially lied to us by saying they had tons of consultants. And now we're finding out, of course, that one of the main individuals that they referred back to is not only a fraud, but is trying to hide. Now, that's the beautiful thing about the internet, is that people never forget. And now, forevermore, no matter how many more books he publishes on Yasuke, any interviews he does on Yasuke, he is going to be pointed and laughed at by people, and he is never going to be able to live this controversy down. Now, Mark Kern, aka Grums, had decided to post this tweet thread talking about how Japanese individuals are furious because of this. The historian Thomas Lockley, that was cited by so many official sources on Yasuke, makes a wild claim that blames the Japanese for slavery in his book, and the Japanese are furious. They also claim that he omitted sections of his book in his Japanese version, and at this point, as he goes into hiding, his position as a professor at Nihon University should be revoked, and Wikipedia, Encyclopedia Britannica should immediately delete him as an authoritative source, which I totally and completely agree with. He has proven that he is deserving of absolutely no general respect, and he has absolutely no idea what he's talking about, whether it is with Yasuke or history in totality. I personally would see his name anywhere and I would instantly run away from it. I would be going and looking for a different source because he clearly does not know what he's talking about and ultimately just wanted to profit. And I get people need to make money, and they, do their very best when it comes to putting out products, but it's clear he did not do his best, and he is not deserving of any sort of influence or authority. And people are, of course, defending Japanese individuals who are upset and also absolutely wrecking Thomas Lockley, saying at Wikipedia, I'm sure you'll do the right thing and remove this conflicted gaslighter from your ranks. I always thought this was bigger than just a video game. This was a test to see if they could get away with revising history they failed, and we've actually seen this happen quite a bit in entertainment over the past few years. Look at Netflix's Cleopatra. At first, it was supposed to be this big, accurate documentary, and then they had to change it to be labeled a docudrama because they realized how much backlash they were facing for, claiming Cleopatra was actually a black woman, and then they had, black actresses promoting it like Jada Pinkett Smith. They really thought they could get away with historical revisionism, and it clearly didn't work out for them. And Ubisoft tried the same exact thing with Shadows. People are also asking things like, just so I'm clear, Ubisoft decided to score some DEI points on making a game about a black samurai, but the historic research they've based their entire premise on turned out to be fraudulent? That is, one, hilarious, two, a reoccurring theme with DEI, and it's so true. People have always wanted, I feel like, a, Japanese Assassin's Creed, and this sounded really great until we saw the Yasuke reveal. Now, of course, if he was simply a character who was in the game, it would be one thing, but to have a historical figure as a playable protagonist is very different. We have not seen that in the history of Assassin's Creed. Of course, we have had some historical figures that were accurately represented, like Cleopatra, George Washington, Leonardo da Vinci, but the games have had fantastical elements, though they primarily have been accurate, again, except for, certain like magical items. The characters themselves and the historical figures that are in the game have always been, pretty decently portrayed at the very least. But with Yasuke, they've just taken a fan fiction and run with it, and they've tried to present it all as fact. Now, at the end of the day, Ubisoft doesn't care about our feedback, so I really don't care that this game is probably going to be a massive flop for them. This title has already been raked across the coals by gamers in the West and also in Japan, that I do not see this going particularly well for them as we are getting closer to full release. So, of course, I will be keeping my eye on this situation to see if Thomas Lockley reactivates his Facebook page, if he makes any statements on X or via, website, if he actually tries to, clarify the controversy that is surrounding him, or if Ubisoft tries, but I highly doubt it. But that's all that I had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.